Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. I'm going to talk about Hollywood and I guess the Hollywood collapse brought about in part by the shutdowns by coronavirus and how I think things are going to change forever. They really are. I think Hollywood as we knew it prior to March of 2020 is gone. The glitz and the glamour is gone, and what we're going to see in the next year or two is Hollywood trying very, very hard to stay relevant, and we're going to see a lot of entertainment content, I think, pop up in other parts of the country, get produced in other parts of the country. I don't think everything is going to be centralized in Hollywood or Los Angeles forever. I think I think we're still going to have a good majority of legacy studios there, but I think there are going to be a lot of satellite entertainment industries that are going to pop up out of necessity, because look what happened with the shutdown. They basically shut down California, and because of it, they turned off the spigot. They turned off the money to Hollywood, shut down the movie theaters. They shut off the money. And now this is pretty funny. Bleeding Fool put this out there. Hollywood collapses on the cover of the National Enquirer. But the thing is, there's a kernel of truth to this. Talking about how Scarlett Johansson has had projects snapped, and George Clooney, all these poor celebrities, without their money. They have the kid from Stranger Things, one that plays Dustin, supposedly selling pizza. I don't know, he's getting like hundreds of thousands of dollars an episode. But you know what? That's the thing about Hollywood. These people think the money is going to last forever. So do a lot of these stars actually invest money or save their money? I would say no. I mean, how many stories we have of all these child stars that don't have any money left? And you're like, how in the hell do you not have any money? How do you not have any money left? Of course, when you're dropping, $3,000 or $4,000 a month for a shitty apartment in LA, you might not have any money left. I don't know. A lot of these celebrities, I don't think they're making as much as you think they are. I don't think they are. So Hollywood collapsing. I mean, you just go out and just talk about how Hollywood is changing, and there's all kinds of articles on it. Go out looking for Hollywood layoff stories, and we know what's going on with Warner Media right now. We know about all the major Hollywood production companies laying off hundreds of people. We know that one of the top talent agencies in Hollywood cut 90 agents and executives due to COVID, and this was in July. CAA, which is one of the biggest talent agencies in Hollywood, cut a bunch of people because it's just not there. The work's not there. As of a couple of days ago, I guess Governor Newsom's talking about opening up Hollywood again, but I think this is going to be a cautionary tale, and I think that entertainment companies moving forward are going to take a look at expanding outside of Hollywood. So you can't just have one critical point of failure, so the whole thing can't burn down if one state is on lockdown and you put all your eggs into one basket. And I think this is going to be the great disruptor, and this is going to be a fantastic opportunity for content creators who don't live in the Hollywood bubble, who don't live in Los Angeles. I mean, there's no way in hell you could get us to move to LA, especially now. And I think you're going to have a lot of people, for the longest time, it was like if somebody was successful in comics or on YouTube, or they wanted to be in animation or something like that, they would move to LA. And I think the pandemic has shown us how dangerous that actually is, to have everybody in one place. Because if something like this happens again, that's it. Your livelihood is dependent on everything working as it always has, and the glitz and glamour's over, man. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Hollywood is not going to look the same, and this isn't going to end. Even when Hollywood opens back up again, this thing is going to go on for years. It's not going to end. Like, they're not going to just turn Hollywood back on. Okay, we don't know what the deal is with the movie theaters at this point, and that's a whole nother issue I'm going to talk about, but you can't just turn Hollywood back on. The damage has been done. It is never going to be the same. What might happen is you might not have these mega wealthy elite Hollywood stars and producers like we've had in the past. The glitz and the glamour is gone, and I think, if you look at Warner Media and you look at how they're purging people from their company at this point, AT&T, is just to save money. I think you're going to look at a more functional, more utilitarian Hollywood, but they're not going to go down without a fight. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about how Disney, the rumor, I believe it originated with Doomcock. The rumor was that Disney was not going to be woke anymore because they can't really afford to. But then they turn around and they announce that they've got the screenwriter of Ghostbusters 2016 doing a Haunted Mansion reboot movie. You know, I think we're going to have some lingering effects. I think we're going to have some people that, you know, were in control or they were gaining control of Hollywood, freaking the hell out, and they're going to try to clamp down even harder. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about the money. Is the money there or not? Because if the movie theaters never go back to the way they were before the pandemic, the numbers before the pandemic, that you can't brag about $2 billion box offices anymore because there aren't enough theaters for that, everything changes. And you know, a lot of people feel that this is a day of reckoning for Hollywood, for greedy, myopic Hollywood that, you know, they felt for years, decades, that they were the moral voice of America, that they were our teachers and priests. And turns out that we're finding out more and more they're not. You know, but yeah, it's definitely over. So, you know, we're going to talk about movie theaters here real quick, and you know, there's been talk about Tenet coming to save theaters. You know, they're talking about Tenet coming to the rescue. The $200 million Tenet has begun its long-awaited rollout, according to the LA Times, just not in the US. The film on Wednesday debuted in countries including Belgium, Denmark, and Egypt, France, and Britain, and will play in about 50 countries before the US launch during Labor Day weekend. It's unusual, not unheard of, for movies to go international before their domestic release, especially, well, for Christopher Nolan, which, you know, there's going to be a twist in this movie, and it's going to be ruined before it hits the States, I'm sure. To go forth when 6 states remain shuttered is risky, reflecting Nolan's unflinching support of theaters. Now, there are some directors that are not happy about Christopher Nolan trying to release Tenet. Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson asks audiences to pass on watching Tenet. We don't want to open up theaters again. Not just because people might get sick. I think there's more to it than that. I think if the numbers aren't there, if we open in the theaters, we saw what happened with New Mutants. Now, I've heard that New Mutants, contractually, they might have had to open in theaters, but I actually feel it's more of a canary in the coal mine situation with Disney. They wanted to see what would happen, and they knew that New Mutants wasn't going to perform anyway, so what the hell, put it in the theater. But what's going to happen is you're not going to have these massive numbers anymore, and you're going to have more and more studios be like, God, is it even worth it? Is it worth going to the theater anymore, or should we just, you know, make stuff for streaming? And if that's the case, the money is significantly less. You're not going to have these billion-dollar movies. And guess what? A lot of these Hollywood elites are going to have to, they're going to have to live within their means. They're going to have to live like the rest of us. You know, they might make a decent salary, but they're not going to be making the millions and millions and millions of dollars hand over fist that they've been making because the economy is not there to support it. And a lot of people who, frankly, shouldn't be working in Hollywood are not going to get a free ride based on the work of others who have performed. You know, what I mean by that is you have a lot of people who are kind of charity hires in Hollywood, and their stuff never performs, but they keep giving them work because other movies are making enough money that there's surplus that they can just have these vanity projects, these charity projects, and it's not going to work anymore. You know, Hollywood is going to have to wake the fuck up to the new reality, and that's what's going to happen. And it's going to take them a couple years to realize that that's what's going to happen. And it's going to take them some time to realize that, you know what? America might be over Hollywood. We might be, because, you know, we haven't had new movies in months. Did that stop the country? No, it didn't at all. In fact, people found creative ways to entertain themselves, to occupy their time without Hollywood. And, you know, it might just be that America is even like, yeah, we really don't need Hollywood as much as we thought we did. It's nice, but it's not necessary. You're not necessary. So Scott Derrickson, the writer who brought Doctor Strange to the big screen, recently asked audiences to pass on physically attending a theater to go see Tenet. This is coming from Bounding in the Comics. On August 21st, Derrickson took to his personal Twitter to bluntly tell fans, don't go see Tenet or any other movie in a theater. There, I said it. Derrickson's request came as theaters began to reopen for business amidst the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, despite the transmission potential presented by groups of people congregating in a closed space. He'd follow up his initial tweet with a link to an AV Club article that is from Gizmodo, Failing Gizmodo, that discussed the potential health risks presented by increased theater attendance. No, I think it's more than that. If I can't make money, you can't make money. If I can't make money, Christopher Nolan can't make money. If I can't make money, Warner Brothers should not be allowed to make money. You know, they're going to release it anyway. You know how hard up Warner Media is for money at this point. They absolutely are going to release it anyway. I would not want to work in the entertainment industry at this point. Everything is changing. I don't know if it's as bad as the Inquirer is making it out. I'd like to think some of these people have money, but it's definitely going to be sobering for Hollywood at this point. And I think we're going to have a lot of people get gone from the industry. It's going to be like the comic book industry. The economy is not there to support it. And look what happened. You know, it's so weird about the pandemic. It's been a double-edged sword. It's been absolutely horrible in the fact that people are getting sick, that people are dying, that people are losing their jobs. It's been horrible in that regard. But you look at the time people are actually spending together now without Hollywood, without entertainment, you know, the entertainment industry, without all of this, you know, dictating their lives. In our neighborhood, Squid King and I go for walks almost every night, and we walk around the neighborhood. And since, you know, the bars are shut down and the theaters are shut down and all of that, all these families have fire pits now. They all have fire pits in their backyards, and everybody's, you know, pretty much every other house, you've got people just living and talking and communicating and laughing and having fun as a family again, because we don't have all these distractions, you know, that have eaten up so much of our lives for so many years. And that's it. People learn to survive without this stuff. Hollywood has overestimated its importance for a very long time. And it's nice to go see a movie. It's nice to be entertained. It's nice to read comic books. But at the end of the day, they're not necessary. They aren't. And I think, you know, America might be in for a more radical shift in how people spend their free time. Because, you know, again, once you break a cycle, it's very hard to go back to that. If you're used to going to a movie every weekend and you're not allowed to for 6 months, and you found other things to do, like go take a hike or sit around the fire and spend time with your family, then you might be hesitant to go back to that old habit of going to see a movie every weekend. Same with comics. You know, if you don't buy comics every week, or you haven't been for months, you know, or it's really hard to get comics now because so many shops are closed down, it's a habit that's been broken. And that's it. We are creatures of habit. The Hollywood habit's been broken. People are watching more stuff, streaming stuff. That's true. But again, it depends on where you live. If you're in a city, you're probably SOL. You're locked in a tiny apartment or whatever. But where we live, people are spending more time outside. They're spending more time with their families. And again, that's sort of the double-edged sword. I'm not trying to minimize the pandemic or how it's negatively affected people, but the upside to it is maybe we are taking stock of what's actually important. Maybe the end result of this is that we will come out better, stronger, because of it. And Hollywood will not have the power that it had before, because we never really needed them, did we? I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.